want that, so I have to celebrate. Never know by you, say the door, yeah. Never get by you, then the door, yeah. My boo, my queer, wanna kill. The person like your mother, the cow, your bill. Well, my your leave for one time. I see that will pump the one and they track it. I'm worthy, more than it was say, Joe. Anything you need, well, my let me know. Say, my body, you are chill. Shaka, the mobile wasn't here more. Sunday to Sunday, we party, Sunday to Sunday. What's going on? When chicken say, Boboli, oh, it's all classic.
Somebody they steal and somebody they buy. Somebody they see, but the same person be spy.
That boy every day activities. 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 That boy every day activities.
Indeed, that's our everyday activity here this evening. We are here again once more to discuss the issue of Liberia, to discuss the issue of the world. It's officially 10 minutes past 10 o'clock here in Rwanda, and it's 10 minutes past 8 o'clock in Liberia, and it's 11 minutes past 3 o'clock p.m. in Minnesota State, USA, where Fanso is residing. Again, I'd like to say welcome to all of you watching the show this evening. Please help to share the show with somebody and let somebody share with another person too, so we can have a wonderful, wonderful discussion here tonight. My name is Junior Payne, your host, and I'm joined by Fanso Wumbo tonight, the Booyah Boy, your co-host. Together, we're going to be discussing a couple of issues here tonight. We have a couple of things coming up for you. Beautiful stories hailing from Liberia and other parts of the world. We're going to be discussing everything here tonight. But before we dive into our headlines for today, let's welcome officially to tonight's edition of the Heat Hour. Fanso, welcome.
Thank you, John. It's my pleasure to be here every evening to discuss issue concerning our country, Yeah, it's a good thing to always be here at this time.
It's always a pleasure being with you, Afonso. It's great having you again on the show. And before we dive into what is on our mind, I know we have a lot of things on our mind to discuss here, but because of time, we cannot discuss all of those things. But let me read our headlines for today. In the twist of the Capitol building arson attack, John Yanti, a prime suspect in the Capitol building arson case, has been arrested by the state security forces after previously being reported at large and outside the country. He's charged in substantia by the Liberia National Police. Yanti is now in court under the police custody. Meanwhile, Yanti and his family has alleged that the government is pressuring him to give false testimony. The claims officials offer him $50,000. That's according to the family. And according to him, he said the officials offer him 200,000 United States dollars. We're going to bring you more details of that story. Yanti spoke with journalists today when he was in the courtroom. So we're going to bring you access of that recording here this evening. The Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police, today released a press statement banning all other parade involving Gala Day celebration with schools in Liberia. Of recent, we heard of that ban, and now we don't know why it was not enforced, but we're also going to be playing a recording from the press statement today. And finally, we will also be concluding on the statement from the Nima County Education Officer, Mr. Francis G. Leggin, on behalf of the Nima County School System. We'll read you the press statement as we dive deep into the education of Liberia and with emphasis to the Nima County School System. We will be diving into that discussion here this evening. So, Afanso, that's our stories for today.
Yeah, beautiful headline there. These are issues confronting our society every day. There are multiples of issues confronting our society, or at least the one we can lay hand on sometimes that is important. We choose to discuss. Everything is important, but we can just discuss few because of the limited time we got. And it is good that our people make their input through text messages and comments, and that will be read on the show, and they can also share and also watch the show.
That's for sure. Afonso, I don't know what you have on your mind, but I believe we have a couple of things on our mind to discuss here this evening. But my attention has been drawn to this conflict between Iran and Israel. It's getting intense. I listened to the statement. I read the statement released by President Donald J. Trump on Twitter. He said Iran should surrender. It should stop producing all nuclear weapons. And Iran too didn't take the statement lightly. They also responded. But it's actually getting weird. I listened to the Prime Minister from Asia. He said the reason they are attacking Iran is because they are in the process of creating ballistic missiles. And these ballistic missiles, some of them that they have produced already, they can hit deep inside Europe to destroy Europe. They are, according to him, some of those missiles can hit deep inside Africa to destroy Africa. And pretty soon, maybe in 1 year, I'm quoting his statement now, maybe in 1 year or maybe less than a year, they will also create a missile that will hit deep inside America. So what they are targeting now is those that are creating the missiles to destroy them, and also to destroy all of the ballistic missile headquarters they have in Iran. But Iran too is also saying they have right to produce missile. And the reason they are producing the missile is for peace, not for war. And I get a little bit confused about that. I got a little confused about that. How can you produce something so deadly and you say it is for peace and it is not for war? Who does that, Afonso? But again, we pray for peace between the both nations. We pray for peace. And I don't know where we are heading, but I read some of the news analysis today from BBC News. I read from CNN News, and most of those top international news platforms, they were giving the analysis about the war. According to BBC, they said, according to the journalist who made that review, she said, if and only if Israel would destroy the headquarters of Iran missile, then they will have to use sophisticated weapons. And these weapons and fighter jets are only produced by the US. And they can only be operated by US soldiers. So that means that if they want to destroy those places, they want to hit those headquarters where the missiles have been produced, to destroy them completely, they will have to use a US fighter jet, a US military pilot. They will have to use a US weapon. Now, this will mean that America will be, taking a war that is not belonging to them to fight it. And it will result in a war between Iran and the US. And we are not expecting that right now. And I saw a very short clip from Donald Trump when they were doing a review. They said, according to him, he said, nobody know what he can do. In the next minute, in the next second, nobody know what he can do. So if it caused him to do something, he would do it. But nobody know his next step. Not even him know his next step. President Donald J. Trump already. He said nobody know his step. He could do anything. But this is serious. We pray for peace in the both nations. We know America, we know other countries, we know Iran. Iran happened to be the second country in the Middle East with the highest military. And also, maybe in the world, Iran has one of the greatest missiles to have ever been produced. Now, if those things are used, they will be dirty, they will be bad, but we pray that they come to one understanding and one conclusion. I remember in 2015, they signed a deal with the former president Barack Obama. But I don't know how that deal turned around now that Iran is also creating new nuclear weapon, I mean missiles. So maybe they could go to a roundtable discussion. But when I listened to the prime minister from Asia, he said always Iran will go to sign this deal, and the end result they would disregard them and they would go about to create missiles. And they will say they are creating it for peace and not for war. So that's what is on my mind this evening, and I pray that we have peace in our in both countries.
Well, on your mind, almost a discussion point, bro. You know, yeah, because I will have to throw some more light on what was on your mind.
Yeah, you can throw light on it too. Why
You
we
know,
try to
you know, when I sit down, I start reading the history of the world.
Mhm.
World War II, meaning when America, entered the war by bombing Japan. America at the time was the only country that had that, that particular bomb, that
Mhm.
particular weapon. Even though German had weapon, USS Arrow had weapon, which is now the how they call the Russia.
Mhm.
They had a weapon, but that particular atomic weapon was only used by the Americans. And after the war, when they went and founded the United Nations, they tried to play a very smart game here. And the game, if you look at it rationally, into your own law, you may say every nation are created equally.
Mhm.
Why will you have in your legal framework that every nation have their own sovereignty, and everybody should respect the nation's sovereignty? Then you will want to control another nation. That's a big
Eh,
question to me.
Efanso,
And
Efanso,
yeah, yeah. Let me.
I want you will learn, but I want to say something. You see, even me, being in the field of law, I find it very difficult after I study international humanitarian law and also study public international law. Now, they always stress on this issue of state sovereignty and all of those things, but still, there are countries in the world with the highest political power that do not respect the state sovereignty. And at the
that's
end
where I'm.
result, yeah,
That's
no,
where
no,
I'm
but
coming.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
where
go
I'm
ahead.
coming. So then, if they did all of the framework, and everybody at Liberia, our country, Liberia, all were part of the framework. Where is
Mhm,
Liberia? Can Liberia stand today and use the power that they call the German will use? The power Israel that Liberia recognized to become country. We recognize that a sign
mhm,
say, yeah, Israel, please become country on your own and produce your own government. They are powerful than Liberia itself.
mhm.
So what is it? That Israel, I'm
Globally,
not against Israel, neither am I against any other country, no. But I just want for people to start to respect the sovereignty of every nation. If
mhm,
a particular nation in the 100 plus country in the world can say I will be powerful to attack all of the country in the world, I don't think it's possible. It's not possible. Yeah, you will destroy something, but you cannot attack the entire country in the world and seize it. Like Iran, Iran cannot do that. Even though Israel is saying they are facing those missiles and other things to what's your fear? What has Iran done before that targeted the entire world attention that is making you to make that? For me, I believe the Prime Minister of Israel is a problem here. The Prime Minister of Israel in a release during the George Bush time, he made mention that Iraq had, weapon of mass destruction. At that time, he was in government. And when they went there, they did not see it. He Benjamin said, Natiado, what can I don't know his name. He made that assertion. And quite of recent, the US president said something about how they call it, Iran. And he flip up again and say, okay, we can join this country to do this. And the other way again, you go and say, I'm now with Israel to destabilize Iran. A contradicting, But we're looking at the whole scenario is not a good thing. The only thing we need is peace. Those heavy weapon. You Israel, you got those weapons. Why you small country like Israel, you got those weapons, and you don't want country like Iran to get it? What's your fear? Why you get a weapon, you now want for South Africa to produce it too? So now what we're saying is, if Burkina Faso or Liberia try to produce the weapon, Israel will move on them and say, don't produce it. Only we supposed to get it.
So according to the Prime Minister, Benjamin, he said, Iran produces this weapon not with good intention. They produce it and give it to terrorist group. At the end result, these terrorist groups will start to attack countries for their personal benefit. So not for them to give it to terrorist group, they want to destroy it. And according to him, their target is those that are producing a weapon. They want to destroy all of them. And where the weapons are being kept, they want to destroy everything. So they are not attacking civilian property and all of those things. But I believe this kind of war. Yeah,
for me, I don't believe in. I don't believe in for one bit. I don't believe it for one bit, because you say you're not attacking civilian, and you that particular weapon is when a blast in places that sending code for Eastern, even you send it to the superintendent company, God forbid. The entire region there, not only that building, the entire region there, people who there will be affected. They say not targeting civilian. I don't believe that. What I'm saying, if there's a need to say nobody should feel weapon, then everybody get rid of weapon. If we want to fight, they'll fight with him and forget about weapon. I think that would be the best thing. Yeah. When people thinking about advancement, then all of people thinking about weapon will be destroying all of people. For me, I don't know.
It's really bad.
Anyway, the Israel, that Middle East there, the entire Bible the people wrote, it just concerning that particular Middle East. So the family, the Joseph family, Moses family, Noah family, all the family that already now play the eye. That did the one went Iraq, some of them went Iran, some of them they just around there fighting each other, some of them in Turkey. So that thing started way back, that is biblical, so they stay on it. Yeah, but for all who our name were not mentioned in that Bible, I don't think we should interfere. Africa, we not mention there, so we're not interfering in it. Let's go ahead.
We all we can say here is that the country should come to one understanding. Because I've been following the both countries, their military page on Twitter, and I don't really know whether those things that have been posted on Twitter, they are actually for the Iran military, or it is someone that is impersonating Iran military. But I think it's weird though. It's really weird, because you will see that we will launch an attack today that the world have never seen.
Oh yeah, their supreme leader said that. He said it. Yeah. So when he said it, how people took those statements, carry on social media. He said it.
When I saw the launch, I realized that they were drones in the air, intercepting some of these missiles. Then I think of my country, Liberia. I say, go for the excuse.
We still struggling to get 10 million, just 10 million to go get some weapon from OAU.
Yeah.
And to bring in our country, just to get 10 million, we're not getting it.
The last time that I checked, our military was 2,000. 2,000 active personnel.
That was some of our Ghanaians say they want military regime like Brazil. The military alone you get in Liberia. Whether they are sophisticated with all the weapons, 2,000 men. Yeah. German village alone can move on and they run away. They can't say what
2,000 manpower. So when I thought of it a little bit, I said, but let's take for example, right? What if Iran get angry? But he said they are creating this missile for peace. Now, if
No, it's not for peace, bro.
that according to you, the missile can go deep inside Africa to destroy. You stay in Iran and shoot in Middle East, and you shoot something and go deep inside Africa.
But you can see what they did to Israel. Israel took, how they call it, plane. I mean, yeah, plane, war plane, to destroy their places. But they stood in their place. They did not go with plane. They stood in their country and launched that thing. To tell you that the missile they got is powerful. That doom Israel people talking about, that bullet cannot do anything. No weapon can even enter that particular city.
Because
for that missile to go and enter there, they are said, stay surprised. How, why, when?
The thing is money last, right? Because when the doom is coming to intercept it, you will see it. Those videos that I saw, you will see that the missile will be burning, taking different route, dodging the doom and all of those stuff. I said, no, these guys have gone to another level,
You know what they did?
What if they got to launch my country?
You know what they did? They knew that Israel had the capability to withstand the tension. So what they did, they launched multiple. But then the main one that's supposed to target the actual area, they left it back and launched the other one for Israel to concentrate on it. When Israel was taking the one, when the fire coming one direction and you taking all three, the other one will stay hit on the ground. Now what they did? The men said it in that they sent 150.
For what reason? According to them last night, to our followers, this is what we're discussing. according to them last night, they have already named the operation. They have named the war. So they call it Operation True Promise 3.
That thing will be in history.
Operation True Promise 3. And they said it has just started escalating, meaning they have a very long way to go.
That war, the person that can, the group of people that can bring peace in that war, the very first person that Israel and America themselves to say, okay, we will not launch a tie again, we'll finish with it. And second person, the second and the third party, that how they call it, China and Russia. That's it in the group. When China and Russia, just imagine they go vote. Just recently they go vote on that G summit Sunday. They go vote for in favor of Israel. China, Russia left out. They say they can't do that. They can't vote for Israel. Also, our Ghana brought into esteem from that vote on the security stuff. So you should know that.
This thing is way complicated, right? It's really complicated.
The African men say they are here inside, so they not want. We're not really getting good single barrel now.
I'm telling you, when I try to follow the history of this thing, Iran has been one of the countries producing these weapons. So they signed a deal before with US that they will not produce these kind of weapons. But according to the US, they have breached the deal. Based on the same state sovereignty, US cannot do anything to them because the principle of the state sovereignty states that a country is entitled to do whatever they want to do in their territory. Another country cannot infringe on their rights. So Iran
make Iran, for me, if that something was good as a lawyer, or if I was a lawyer and that thing enter court, I'm going to tell Iraq, say you won. The whole thing is this. You say we shouldn't face terrible weapon. I agree. But why will you take your entire military to barricade me? Why is it risky? So I had to defend myself in case of anything. That's what they're doing. Just look on the map, you see where they got their military bases in Pakistan, in Oman, all the Arab world, Iraq, all the places. They get all their military bases there around that particular territory. So what is it? In my own buyer, you want to get military base there? So why are you telling me I'm a country now? But my military base not in your region though.
according to the report that I read, Iran has 500,000 active military personnel. You're not using those men, we're not using missile.
You know, that minute, not really. That minute, me tell you, the modern world these days, people will not use soldier.
No.
If they will use soldier, they will be city using machine.
When in Africa, we use soldiers. We still use soldiers in Africa.
Yeah, they say, man, you move to Guinea, but man, that running there. You can just see you move to over there, you do anything on your computer, you blast the whole thing to the bullet. Nobody will know. But we not get the technology, brother. We suffer, we live in behind. But we had the equipment to do it, but if they will do it, I see Israel moving on, so let's be smart.
So we gotta be. I read about a few countries in the world, they don't have military, they don't think of that. They said they don't even in their own countries they don't get police. I will try to bring that name. They just remain peaceful as always. So any country you want to go for, then are you P4 on them? They're not producing missile, they're not producing even single barrel pieces.
I think Switzerland. I said that's Switzerland.
Yeah,
Switzerland also
so.
got. Yeah, they got the other World Bank.
Yeah, no military, nothing.
No military,
so again, folks, we would like to say thank you to all of you who just joined the show this evening. If you are just tuning in, listening to the Heat Hour here on BKS TV, is officially 34 minutes into our show time here. We always love to discuss what is on our mind before we go to our point of discussion for the day. So we have been talking about the issue between Israel and Iran. Somebody may say we had no fish to fry in our oil, but again, we just have to say a little thing about it.
War is a global village, though. So
yeah, we have to say
something. We can't say anything about that. Oh, our children now be asking why when you are living, why you're dead when they want happening. The same question we're asking our own people. So we say we talk small, but they're going listening. Yeah.
So let's try to go to our first story. This story is short, even though is breaking, but it's very short. So we will have to just go to it first. John Yanti, who was accused to be the prime suspect of the Capitol building arson attack, have been arrested. Upon his arrest, his family member talked to the media, accusing top government officials of bribing them with 50,000, promising them to give them 50,000 United States dollars, and also relocate the entire family to Europe. The fellow stated that they received 2,000 United States dollars, which is in their possession. And according to them, the state is telling Mr. Yanti to falsely testify against Fonati Kofa and the other 3 lawmakers. Now, from the previous press statement by his family today, they said 50,000. John Yanti himself spoke to journalists in the courtroom today. The reason why I don't want to play the recording from the family is because he very self he spoke. And when he spoke, he said they promised to give him 200,000 United States dollars. Now, who is saying the truth here? Is it really the truth that the state is bribing John to lie, or he's just making up story to gain public sympathy? What is going on? We don't know. We don't know what is going on. But like we said, we will keep following this case until who did the act is brought to justice. But again, this is developing. If this is true, then I will ask myself, where is our country heading? If this is not true, I will believe that every criminals will say something just to get themselves out of the crime. But let's listen to John when he was in court today. I want you to observe his body language. I want you to play the role of detective, Efanso. Observe his body language, observe his face, the movement of his face while he was answering those questions from the journalist. You know, observe everything about him so we can have our 2 cents on the discussion before we go to the next topic for today. So this is John, and this is what he said.
No, you are not rude. Because they said they have investigation. Any accusation. I shouldn't call nobody out. No, you are not rude. Because they said they have investigation. Any accusing people of the one happened to escape. It's a blatant lie. It's a lie coming from the belly of the devil. You get evidence, you don't get him 200,000 now. You know the year I see you 2 years. Who are engaged you? Matt Amla, 106, 103, 1 ambassador, I just forgot what you mean. Yeah, but almost 10 different government officials every day coming to my hotel. How were you? Last time, also hotel. Go to my recipient. Go there last time now. So my recipient there. My name on it. It says when you be in the country, it says.
Efanso, the recording was short, but I think you got something from it. I want you to have your 2 cents, but while we were on what on our mind, Mr. Melvin Opa's Suwa commented here, and I want us to read his comment because he's one of our most committed followers. But we get into the story quickly. He said, peace between Israel and its neighbor who have significant and verified implication for African nations affecting our political, economic, and security landscape. And Melvin is also a pastor. For the record, he's a pastor. So he made another comment. He said, the Bible, specifically Genesis chapter 12, verse 3 states that those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. This verse is often interpreted as a divine promise to Abraham and his descendants, and by extension to the nation of Israel, according to some interpretation of the Bible. This principle is also echoed in other passages, such as Numbers 24, chapter 24, verse 9, where Balaam prophesies a similar blessing and curse related to Israel. So any country that comes against Israel will be cursed. I think that's what he wanted to say. But
Yeah,
you know,
that's a comment. That's a biblical understanding about the blessing upon Israel. But he cannot tell us the actual area Israel was situated those days, even though the historical content say that particular country now we call Israel is the actual Israel, but we don't know whether that is the actual Israel, because even in Africa we also confuse that Egypt was not, the present day Egypt is not the actual Egypt those days. That's what we say. So all the things that just anyway that's
his comment.
That's a comment. Go to our
yeah, I want to say maybe I want us to agree that the Israel they talk about in the Bible is the current Israel that we know. Now the book of Genesis
are differ anyway.
No, I just wanted to agree on that point because I want to say something.
No, say you agree on that point, not me.
No, I agree that the Israel stated in the Bible is the current Israel that we know.
Okay.
Now, and Genesis states that those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. Now, let's look at what is happening between Iran and Israel. Israel started the bombing.
That statement got interpretation. Those who bless Israel will be blessed. Let's take for instance what Israel stands for. Israel, according to the Bible, according to the Bible, they brought the Savior. They brought all the Savior. So if you are blessing the Savior, you are always blessed. But if you are against the Savior, meaning what they call, but if it is the country you're talking about, then the people in that country, they are wicked. So it's not no blessing. If you see somebody
Mr.
who you want out to bless is killing people and people telling you to stop, you say you can't stop. Then you say
Efanso,
people let
Efanso,
go, brother. Let go, let go, let go.
we know that this thing is this news keep on breaking every day. I would
Yeah.
like to extend a formal invitation to Mr. Okwa, even though we are still trying to get him here to have his biblical hour on this TV channel. But again, this is a good topic. We could discuss it. A lot of things are some of what we don't understand about the Bible. I mean, the Bible understanding is not like the law that we are doing. It's something that you have to be chosen to interpret. You can read the Bible, but the interpretation is where we get it very complicated. It's almost like the law that we are doing. But again, that's another topic for another day. Let's go to Mr. Yanti. You listen to him. Let me echo some of
Yeah.
those things he said.
Yeah, I listened to him. I don't even want you to echo because I follow that
Okay,
story.
that's great.
I
That's
follow this. Yeah, I follow the story since the 8th of
mhm,
this month. I've been following the story. You
mhm,
know, after that disaster, December, I think December 80 or December 8th, December, yeah, the burning of the capital, there were some
mhm,
guys that escaped the scene. I escaped the country, but they were working with the legislature. Some of them were in the political party. But when the state security were going about finding people who did the act, some of those guys escaped the country. Now Yanti, who the people say he was wanted,
mhm,
the state security were in search of him, and they found out that he was in Ghana. They brought him back to the country, and he said he was in a hotel. Uh, this that. I don't know who brought in the hotel. Whether it is he himself that left Ghana to kind the hotel in Liberia. When he got a house in Liberia, he could not go to his own house. He was in the hotel. I don't know. But let me go to where we'll get those conflicting statements
mhm,
from his family's angle to his own, statement.
mhm,
You are not, when they accuse you, you are not guilty.
mhm,
When they accuse you, you are not guilty. And
mhm,
he left the country not just on the merry-making issue. He left a country when something had happened in the country that state security was in search of those who did the act. That's the time he escaped the country and he was wanted. So I still trying to figure out why will he leave the country when he feel that he did not do anything after the capital building got burned and they were searching for him. He escaped the country when he noticed he didn't do anything at all. That the
mhm,
government will go after him and grab him. Why? I still trying to figure that. Now he's saying the government gave him promised to give him 200,000 and also send his family out of country. Are you kidding me? To give him 200,000 and his family to also have their press conference instead of them going to an unknown area or to maybe let's say ELBC or any other radio station to go and give their testimony about what had happened to their brother. They went to CDC party headquarters to make their press statement. These things are calculated things. When Fonati Kufa was speaking, he said they were going to deconstruct the lies, the allegations leveled against them by the police. I mean, they are the state security. So to deconstruct the thing, the only way he can deconstruct it for me is to also put lies. If we feel that those things against him were lies, to also magnify with another lies. I feel that it is Fonati Kufa camp that is playing no game to continuously buy the public sentiment, to make it know that to make the public to know that or yet to see the whole case, like the government lying on us. But if the government lie on you, why pay people or why even be talking plenty? Just go to court. That's why they get court. The court will set you free when you are not guilty. The court will set you free. The government can carry people to court and the people come back free. There are so many, I know, veterans in a country there that government are carrying them to court and they keep back free. And nothing happened to them. So why will you be all in the media here? Even though the case is in court, I don't know which evidence is it. I don't know whether that evidence will be for the defendant. Maybe that defendant evidence that they pay my client, they promise to pay my client 200,000. Who promised? Nobody know. But I feel this is a calculated lie. It's very, it's malicious. It's a lie. It's not true. We wait to see that man equal. If the state wanted to use him, I don't think they still are going to give him money. That's the way he's saying it. Remember, he related to the foreign minister. That's a foreign minister husband brother down there. I mean, yeah, nephew down there. Yanti. Sarah Belto Yanti, how they call the husband family boy there. So why will your uncle or your brother wife in the government know you will want to do that to you? Why? He was in Ghana. The classified security information the man we were way there. It's a security, twin security here in the US. And when they got the information, they say you should turn the man over, and you were forced to turn him over. He did not come to Liberia by himself, but they sent him over, they turned him over, and the person that brought him carried to that hotel that had the NSA people went and got him. He shouldn't be liar to say he just came by himself and went in the hotel, which of course he had his own building and family in Liberia. He did not go to them. It's not true. You know, they just try to Liberia, they just want to politicize everything. Even eating you drinking your vessel, they will politicize it. You're not drinking it well. You're doing the other one. In the judicial matter again, every time we say the court system not correct, the court system not correct, how will we notice? How will you want us to believe that the court system not correct? When everything that go to the court, you break it in public, you just discuss it any kind of way. Now if the court, if the people go to court and say, okay, you guilty, they will say, oh, we said it before. When the court say, okay, you're not guilty, then a lot of people will say, we said it before that the court not correct. You know, these are things they want. They put in the court, decision at risk. They put in the court decision at risk. And the court, I believe, will do their work and do it properly to certify the people of Liberia. I don't think the court will be biased in the process. I think they'll do it. Or those that will be free will be free. Those that will be culpable for whatsoever, they will hold them. I believe so.
Thank you, Afonso. I admire all of your points. I want to side with you on this one. I want to definitely side with you. Now, the first thing today, when I listened to the press recording from his family, I felt a little bit convinced, because with the rumors that have been going around involving this case and the way it is being handled, specifically from Priscilla Cooper angle to the other four lawmakers, I felt that the family were saying something that maybe could be truth. But again, I also had a doubt in my mind that it could be a political statement intending to buy public sentiment. So we in the public will believe that this administration is going about targeting few group of lawmakers and using other people, to testify against them so that they can be called criminals. But what I didn't understand from the press statement is, why will you be making such an allegation as a family, not a political party, not a political leader affiliating with a political party, but a family grouping, and decide to go to a political party headquarters. Why? So that side of the story got me a little confused. And then I listened to him, Yanti. He said they gave him, they promised to give him 200,000, accused 106. Now, then where I have the doubt in my mind again about the police is that this man has been a wanted person. Upon his arrest, I expect an immediate, because if you say prime suspect being arrested, I expect an immediate release from the Liberian National Police that Mr. XYZ have been arrested. But I haven't seen such from the Liberian National Police.
It's on the way north.
You see that? I haven't seen that from the Liberian National Police. That's where it's getting me a little bit confused, because when you say prime suspect in a case, that means you're talking about the number one person. The number one person. And this is a big case. It's almost like a genocide. We don't want to say genocide or war crime because these are international crimes. But
They're
this
almost
is
like a treason.
yeah, almost like a treason. Now, upon this person arrest, we expect an immediate press statement. An immediate press statement to say, yes, indeed, we have this person in our custody, informing the public about it. But we didn't see anything of such. We saw journalists flying around with the story. Now, the public will still have the doubt in their mind whether this guy is saying the truth. Now, you led us to be in a state of dilemma because you've never released a statement letting us know that this person had been arrested by you, the time he was arrested, when he appears in the country, what led to his escape, which route he used to escape, and how he was extradited to the country. All of these things should be details in your explanation. Upon his arrest, where he was arrested, at what time he was arrested. But none of these statements have been released by the Liberian National Police, nor the NSA. Now, according to this guy, he said he has been in the country since June 6. That's a long time for a prime suspect to be in a country. And the police don't know, NSA don't know. A very long time. So it still gives me the doubt that maybe something was happening behind the scene that we don't know. Alfonso, you don't know, I don't know. Maybe it could be true that 106 visited him and made these promises. But where is the recording? Where are the evidences? Is it true that before his arrest today, 106 or those people that he named have gone to the hotel? If that is so, I believe the hotel premises has CCTV footage. We will want to see the release of that CCTV footage. If and only if, before his arrest today, those government officials went to the premises of that particular hotel. And I believe that the defendant will not take this lightly. They will want to go to that hotel to invite any of the manager or the hotel's attendants to testify in court. Whether or not these state officials visited our hotel. And if they did, who did they go to see? If and only if they went there before his arrest, then I would believe there was some conversation going on. Because as a prime suspect in a case, once he's seen somewhere, he should be arrested immediately. There is no need to go for search warrant from the court. No, you already have cause, probable cause of arrest. So this is an allegation. I take your side on this, But this is where I still have the doubt. These are the little doubts that I have in my mind. And where to I take your side fully is that, how did the conversation go on? Did the government official just went to the family separately and it went to him separately, or he gave the information to them? Because you got it two different figures of money here, two different ones.
2,000 and 50,000.
That's so complicated, so different. And you say you get it 2,000 in hands. Anybody in Liberia can get $2,000 in hand. How do we believe that this money was given to you by authorities? Do you have any photo evidence to that? Or you just want to take $2,000 cash and show it so we can be convinced? No, we cannot be convinced by these kind of instances or these kind of circumstances. We want to see pictorial evidence that, a government official brought this money to you while handing the money over, or when you were in a meeting with the government officials, somebody took the picture. I mean, for God's sake, we should have some little common sense. These kind of situations are not something you play with lightly. Even if they tell you do not recall, or if they tell you do not take pictures, you should be sensitive. You should be sensitive that this thing will not leave on a cover. It will definitely go to the public. So if I were the family, I would take pictures of the events. But we don't have pictures, and you come out, you tell us that they gave you $2,000. Anybody can get 2,000 in Liberia. So for God's sake, anybody can get that 2,000. So you can't put 2,000 in our cash and we say, oh, they don't want to get it to that. What sense does that make?
In the 8 million plus case, they gave $2,000 to allow somebody.
To allow somebody.
8 million plus case.
They relocate you. And you within yourself, you know that right after that meeting, you will go to have a press statement and you not take picture of the event. You never had any hala for people to come around. You sat there, you listened to them, you took the 2,000. Nobody knew the intention you took the 2,000 with, but you came to have a press statement on the media without any evidence, but saying you got $2,000 and you expect us to believe that, Mr. XYZ gave you $2,000. That's contradicting. Like you said, I'm going to quote your statement. That's malicious. That's a lie. For me, I don't believe that. I believe they want to buy the public sympathy. And that's not how we operate as a country. If we want to move forward as a country, we all got to be patriotic to the country. But we're not practicing the patriotism. Everybody want to take side in this thing. Everybody want to lie. Everybody want to support a political individual, politician, political party. Why will a family having press statement go to political headquarters, political party headquarters, to have the press statement from them? Which kind of sense does that make? So that's just what I wanted to say. But we will keep following this case to the fullest. We will dig deep inside this case. Whosoever that did that act must be brought to justice. We don't care whether somebody pay you this, somebody pay you that. But I think this should be an example to all of those who have those intentions. Or
that particular guy, they got recording of him from Orange and Don't Start office.
Yeah, I heard that.
He got like call it 3 mobile. They call it number. When you call the other one, the actual one he using, actual name on it is different. And the other one he use, he did not use a middle name. He just use it neither that. The other one he use a last name for a first and a first for last. These are things they can do to confuse people that had a good register. That's why it's good that they issue of the how they call it social security number or citizen ID be assigned to every citizen in the country. Because any other information you cannot get anybody on the ID. You go register your SIM, you must carry it. They say that they do any communication in the country, they should. That's how advanced country look like. You cannot. Our security cannot be dangling here and there looking for evidences all around only because there is no technology to get it. It's not good. You have to provide funding for technology so we can get those people who always in our midst creating harm for us and get them out. That's what we're supposed to be doing. The criminal are fast. They are fast-sighted. They always think that they are more advanced than security. So the security themselves need to be more advanced. For me, no criminal can get bad that kind of thing for me. That you cannot touch something and just believe you, because so long the people put that crime on you or say you did this, that is not small thing to say. Oh, you beat somebody wife or you beat somebody child, or you say you burn a state, house over 8 million other stuff. It's a huge crime, So nobody will want to accept that. So they will use all kind of tricks. They will use all kind of tricks. That's a trick they're using. But those trick, I just want for people who will be on the case to be very smart and read beyond the line and see who lying, who not lying. So to do what they're supposed to do, because
I
if you
mean,
follow it,
I'm not a detective, but when I observed his body language today while speaking to the press, I saw something was wrong. Even though in intense instances like this, at times, you get this fear in you when you are speaking to other people. But again, when somebody is lying, Afonso, you can feel that kind of feeling that this person is not saying the truth. When I'm saying something that I know it is real, it is true, that I have evidences to, you won't see me shaking my butt around, moving here and there. No. I saw the body language today, and I felt that something was wrong somewhere. And when he got it wrong was the family business saying they told him they would give us. Then you now will say
I
they
know
told
that.
me.
Is that a business? Is that a business discussion to say, let my family go and go settle that for me on my behalf? Yeah, you're torturing my family.
It's
What's that?
complicated.
It's just okay. Let's say for instance, I want Jion to be on my side. But I don't want for anybody to notice. Then I will go to Jion family to go discuss with Jion family. That means people will not notice now. People will notice. So you think even the government, even let's say the government want to do that. If the government want to do that, will try to, will divert the conversation now to a family to say, let's go discuss it with your family first to know who will be thinking about that. Who will be thinking about that? It can be a confidential issue between you and I, and they can go beyond even to go tell your brother or your sister or your son or anybody. No, all of things are just fake news. Fake thing they did. And the other do say the native will do that, go to CDC party headquarters and make press statement, and then from there, in fact, they are not smart in thinking. And they were smart in thinking they want for a Liberian people to believe that they shouldn't have gone to CDC party headquarters. They were just going to go maybe to one of the radio stations and they add a bar airtime and express all of those stuff, Yeah. And also say, okay, saying you deal with carrying it, they carry one voice. You can say this, then the other person say this. Who they pay the 2,000 to? The other man say they promise to give money. Then the other person say the 2,000 they get in your possession. Who they give it to now? Confused.
For me, it's complicated. I believe these people want to buy public sentiment.
That man did not come. Let me let you know. The one I agree with you on to is the police. The security in the country. They very difficult in disseminating information. When it comes to disseminating information, when they want for the citizen to be crying for or insinuating, about something before they can come out to say something. But look at the kind of issue. The first thing when Gregor Como was making that statement, I did when he said one of the perpetrators is already to be brought in the country because they already got in. Now that they brought him in the country, they were supposed to announce it. They were supposed to say it. How they brought him, whether they persuaded him or somebody brought him secretly or the security in Ghana, handing over to the Liberian security. All of this stuff you need to say it because these are things that are going to back you when you go to court. But if you have those kind of heady agenda and just keep those things, people will gather doubt. That's why we don't want to get. That's why people getting now because that's the same doubt people working after and carry on lies. So when you create those doubt, people will carry last.
You see, they were going to say this is a classified security matter, so we don't want to put it to the public. No, leave that thing. What do you call classified security matter? This
it can be classified when you searching for the person and you are not getting the person, but you already got the person in your possession. What make it classified now? Disclose the information that will finish arresting the guy.
It's wrong. Like, okay, for example, the recent incident that occurred in your state in Minnesota, when a guy when they were manhunting him, the governor of the state, the head of security, we saw them on the internet. They were making all of the statement. They were bringing all of the press releases, where he passed, who gave them the intel, who gave them this. Upon his arrest, immediately, the governor went on. He made a statement about it, that indeed we've arrested this person. Because for one fact, this kind of case, the person is like a danger to the society already, even though the principle of presumption of innocence is attached to them, but the person is a danger. We don't know whether they committed a crime or not. They are still accused. But again, we consider them to be a danger because what they did, what you are alleging them to do, they might probably do it to other people. So people might be living in fear. Now, to reduce this fear, what you do is, after arresting the person, publish it. You said at first you were in the process of arresting the person. Now that you have done it, what was the hold on? That's what I want to say. We want to see the CCTV footage. If there were government officials that went to that hotel and they didn't arrest him 4 or 5 days past, and they arresting him today, then something is wrong somewhere, Fanso.
No. What happened is this. Let me give you the information. I told you I start following it from the 8th. And he came in the country on the 6th, but I start following on the 8th. The other 3 guys in cell, one of them, according to the crowd from the citizen, there are investigation ongoing that he was maltreated by the state security, meaning NSA. So what NSA did with him now was that, okay, if the man come in the country, we're not going to keep him to NSA headquarters, because if we're keeping the people feel we're maltreating them. So what we're keeping is the guest house or the hotel. That's where they carry him. When he went there, he was there with security. Security was with him. He did not. I told you, he did not come in like we were on his own that they brought him. So it was security that were keeping him there while they were doing their investigation to get all the information for before can turn it over to the police. Because NSA was the one who was doing that first. That's the first investigation before the state police. So that's how it happened. But whether they got error or not, that one that they are business, I know they have some errors there.
Yeah, if that is the case, then I think the state security, they are in total error with that. If that is the case, this person came and he was kept at a hotel and then saying they were waiting or doing another investigation, then I think they were totally wrong, because the investigation had been done already. You got one of the.
But you think that today they arrested that guy? They were already in the state security hand. They in that hotel.
No, they not. Then I will believe. I will partially believe this guy's statement, because according to our law, nobody is above the law. If they want to use the principle of justice delay, justice deny in his case, then let's get something straight here. NSA has the full authority. If NSA is accused of, inhuman treatment, then NSA should be investigated. NSA is not above the law. But NSA cannot say, or the security apparatus or the police cannot say, since people have been complaining that NSA maltreated them, and they cannot go to investigate NSA, but instead they take an individual to keep them at the hotel while carrying on some other security, duties, then I think it's wrong. It's wrong, because NSA has the full authority to keep you in custody.
Now, not set up yet.
This is bad.
When you buy a new, when you buy a new phone in the pub, by the time you open it, you put it on, you gotta set it up. Liberia just came from the park. They don't sell the oil. They just on. So they need to sell Liberia up.
So again, we want to say thank you to all of you watching the show tonight. Mr. Opaswa, we appreciate all of the comments and your constant follow to this TV platform and also this show. We appreciate you a lot. And if also has a personal comment, he will respond to that after the show. We promise you that. My mother is also watching from Sanicole, Evelyn Payne. She's watching from Sanicole this evening. I'd like to say welcome to the show, Mama. So we've discussed Yanti, but there are a whole lot of doubts in my mind about Yanti. Now, in our headlines again, now we are into MOE, Ministry of Education. We were in it with Nima County, but from the nation's cabinet today, the Minister of Education and the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with the Liberia National Police, today reaffirmed, because I will not say give a press statement about this, because this has been a law that was passed ever since. They reaffirmed that Gala Day celebration, people shouldn't be marching in the street. It should be done at specific, quiet places like the stadium, like maybe in an event hall, or places that are very quiet, that it can maintain peace. According to them, the marching of students or schools doing Gala Day event on the street, it causes public disturbance. It puts the students at risk and all of those things. But I know that this parading on the street was stopped long since ago. 2025, 2024, 2025 school year, 2023, 2024 school year, it raised up again. We saw schools everywhere parading on the streets, blocking traffic here and there. We didn't see any statement from the Ministry of Education, nor a school being found for us to see it. But today they are coming up with a press statement that no other school should go about parading after the academic year have already closed. The ministry is erring somewhere, and we got to speak about that. But let's listen to the press release today. It's about 6 minutes. Let's listen to them.
And the Liberia National Police for immediate release. Enforcement of ban on street parades during Gala Day graduation and WAS celebration. Monrovia, Liberia, June 18th, 2025. The Ministry of Education and the Liberia National Police jointly informed the general public, school administrators, students, and parents that effective immediately, strict enforcement of regulations banning street parades during school Gala Day programs is underway across all counties. This collaborative effort stems from growing concerns over student safety, public disturbances, and repeated violations of the ministry's clearly outlined directive in the 2024-2025 academic calendar. Over the years, unsanctioned and chaotic street parades, often involving minors, have led to preventable injuries and threatened public order. Despite consistent reminders, some schools continue to organize such unauthorized activities. To clarify, this is not a complete ban on the celebratory activities. Schools are encouraged to organize parades and celebrations in safe, controlled environments, such as sports pitches, town halls, stadiums, or other large open areas. These venues help ensure that students can mark important milestones without exposure to traffic hazards or disorderly conduct. In accordance with provisions under the Liberian Constitution, Article 15, the Penal Law, Section 17.3 and 17.4, and the Liberia Education Reform Act of 2023, which empowers the government to take necessary actions in the interest of public safety, student protection, and lawful conduct. The following measures shall be strictly enforced. The Liberia National Police will deploy officers to monitor and prevent street parades associated with Gala Day celebrations in all 15 counties. Any school, organization, or group found in violation will be held accountable in accordance with the national law and ministry regulations, subject to legal penalties outlined in the Ministry of Education annual academic calendar. Effective immediately, graduation and WASP completion celebrations will also be monitored and regulated by the Liberian National Police. The police will not tolerate reckless or dangerous behaviors, including students sitting atop vehicles, dancing or moving vehicles, or engaging in conduct that endanger lives. The ministry and the Liberian National Police emphasize that these measures are not intended to stifle celebration, but to ensure that students can mark academic milestones in a safe, respectable, and organized manner. We call on all school administrators, parents, and students to cooperate fully and uphold the standards of safety and discipline expected within the education system. Our priority remains the protection of every child and promotion of a safe and secure learning environment for all. Let us work together to uphold the law and order while safeguarding the future of our nation, our children. Signed on this day under the hand of Dr. Jassa Malajala, Minister of Education, Republic of Liberia, and Honorable Gregory Coleman, Inspector General, Liberia National Police. Thank you. So,
Afonso, you listen to the press released. Something really wrong in our country. Let me put it in a colloquial a little bit. Something really, really wrong with our country. Now, this has been a law. You gave the statement, you gave the academic calendar, things that are supposed to be done and things that are not supposed to be done. If you do those things, the penalties that are involved with them, and you saw people, not once, not twice, but on multiple occasions, having Gala Day celebration on the street, and you took zero action about them. You didn't prevent any school from having Gala Day celebration that you posted on your official website for us to know. Those schools are violated. You didn't find any of them to serve as, a sign of deterrent for other schools. But you left it until the academic year has come to an end, and then you're coming up with a statement. How serious are? I don't really know if we are really serious in our country. A profound institution like Ministry of Education gave an order to schools to abide by them, and they saw those orders being violated by the same schools they gave them to, and they sit there, did nothing until the end of the academic year and coming up with a press statement. What if those schools that were having Gala Day celebration, one way of the order, there were mass destruction with those schools by a car accident or something? Who will be blamed in this situation? Because I believe the Ministry of Education should be a guiding light to every school authorities. You have the DO, the district education officers. You have the county education officers serving as the eyes of the Ministry of Education within the counties. And the county education officer also has the district education officers serving as eyes for him to report to him or her on a daily basis. And they see these things going on within the cities, the villages, and everywhere in the counties. And they took zero action about it. and coming up today with a press statement, I want to believe that this is a bluff. This is a serious bluff. I don't want to take it seriously. It's a bluff, Efanso. Because a serious matter institution will firstly start enforcing the law before coming back to say something. Was this a grace period or what? Did you give a grace period to the people to operate? To do whatever they want? I don't really know what is wrong with us. I don't know what is wrong with Liberia. I don't know where we're heading to as a country, but we're very old for this thing, man. Liberia as a country, we are very old to be involved with this kind of situation. And we consider them to be normal thing in our setting in Liberia, which they are not. They are not, Efanso. I mean, I'm so disappointed in the Ministry of Education. I don't have much to say on this. Let's hear you. Yeah.
Lash out, oh, brother, lash out. Oh.
I know you don't want to say much about it, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. I gotta see what I gotta say. It is.
You know, John, I listened to her release, and I capture 3 key points from there. The first point I capture is reaffirming their commitment for the prohibition on Gala Day, street Gala Day parade. And the other thing that Gala is involving now the law enforcement officers. And the next one we've make it 3 years that she also not just talking about school, but she had also gone out of the border to talk about any street parade from any organization, school, or institution that is against the traffic rule, or traffic law. I much appreciate the minister for press release. Why it's true that we Liberians are very, hesitant when it comes to abiding by laws. It is also important for us to know that when our leaders are dealing with us, it doesn't mean that they don't want to implement something. Or where we reach a certain point and you are not abiding by what they say, then meaning they will take it harshly. I know the issue of Gala Day was being stopped, and people appeal that it should come back. And they discuss it at the ministry level. They say, yes, you can discuss. I mean, you can have your Gala Day. But when they said that you should have Gala Day, the restriction was not given on street parade first. What the restriction I was giving is they charge students because parents don't have money. So these are restriction MOE brought first. But where now people having Gala Day or on the street and causing traffic hazard and also having embarrassment in traffic and putting our children at risk, it is also important to involve the state security. That's what she did. So now what for me, I think now is that after the press release, because as we speak now, people are still carrying on Gala Day. People are still celebrating Gala Day. But the main school system that got the problem is a Monserrado County school system, MCSS. Just quite recent in Ganta, and I don't know, somewhere around Secretary or where, there were 2 schools that were found by Nima County school system for celebrating Gala Day the way they celebrated it when they were not to do it. They found them, I think, 150,000 plus to be paying government revenue. But it's not enough. I believe if you make the law, You got to implement the law. You got to follow it up. But that's it. That's the thing. Our leaders. That's how our leaders are. They make the law. They don't follow it up. I'm just waiting to see if this one she said going to be followed up by them in the next academic calendar. Even though she's seeing it late, it is almost at the closure of school. But it's not just with that issue of Gala Day. She also talked about graduation and all that stuff, which is also pending. When they say don't graduate, MCSL will go and say they're having what they call how do you say, what kind of Thanksgiving. They can do the graduation, they put it on Thanksgiving, making the school more corrupt, because when you lie, you are corrupt. Corruption is not only to go and take money, but when you lie in a system, a system, design system to educate people in the country, you dare lying, meaning you are very corrupt. You want to corrupt the minds of the student. So these are things the MCS are involved with. So I want to believe that the state security will take heed to this situation and make sure that graduation will not take place until the appropriate time, and they will make sure that there will be no street parade. If you want to parade, maybe you go to the football pitch or any other wide open area that people will not be in the street. Be in the street, the traffic now in Liberia, not like those days where before you see one car, it will take like 30 minutes. But now you can see motorbike, everybody just riding recklessly. So you can't put the people children in the street. In case one car just can't run in them, it will become bad. It's not good.
Yeah,
It's a good thing. Yeah.
I mean,
That's how I look at it.
You strategically defended your people on this one, which I will give it to you on that. But she said some beautiful things. Where I had the problem is when you gave the order, we expect you to follow up on it, and make sure that those orders are obeyed. But if you don't do the follow up and you wait for this kind of time, you come up with another press statement, then people like me, we would consider it to be a bluff. Because even the school system itself, they will say, they said that thing last year, but we went about with our thing we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
They came out later on, they say, you're not doing it. So we'll do it, we'll do the same thing in a year. But we hope and pray that they will work in lines with the Ministry of Education to stop all of these things. I mean, like the one she said, students shouldn't sit on top of car, celebrating during graduation. It's actually, making sense enough. Graduation program, people are overjoyed. We are excited. But I mean, going to sit on top of a moving car, shaking yourself immensely, and when the car, Liberia, our potholes everywhere, the car too is on speed, then boop, something else happened.
Something happened, we start blaming the Oma.
We start to blame people that are not involved with it. I hope and pray that the Ministry of Education will work in collaboration, like they said, with the Liberian National Police to enforce this come around. The issue of Gala Day parades, people sitting on top of cars doing graduation celebration. But again, that was it on the national scene for Ministry of Education. We go back to Nima County. Today, there was a press statement from the Office of the County Education Officer. We're going to spend a little time on this, approximately 30 minutes plus on this discussion. So I want to read the press statement because another problem again I have the Ministry of Education. Why will a county office be releasing a press statement and it's not written in maybe on a sheet of paper and posted so that we can be able to share it around? But instead, you handwrite it and then you put the picture of the CEO there and you post it. What kind of country we find ourselves in?
They were okay, what to do? Yeah, go ahead.
We're not serious. Seriously. So at the end result now, we can't post this here. We will have to read it from here. You posted something serious that you consider to be serious. You posted it. There is no stamp of the ministry, the county office, or the CEO stamp is not on it. You just handwrite the thing, and then you put the picture of the CEO. Then we consider it to be serious matter thing. You see, I don't really know where we find ourselves,
But
but
the whole ministry they still get problems. So
why will you be posting something that you know is of significance? It has that kind of weight, then no stamp on it. For me, I don't take that seriously. I would not take it
the,
serious. Even if a
the
school
ministry,
system,
the ministry said they are Western not active. Because the website supposed to incorporate all the 50 counties education offices where every other information about them will be found there. But you go on in ministry education website, you go there where you will find out the minister or deputy program and what they call it, media panel and other stuff you see. You don't see anything about the counties.
now, Alfonso, watch this.
Watch the
I don't know if you're seeing this correctly. This is the CEO on
yeah, I get that. I get that.
in the logo to our followers. This is the CEO on the right and the logo of the Ministry of Education on the left. Now, the statement they're posting, the statement is handwritten as a caption, which is not bad. But I believe as a picture too, it should be written and stamped with a signature on it. But nothing of such. Nothing of such. So after that, we will go blame the country. We say we're behind technology. I don't know, Microsoft we're not existing again. Yeah, we're behind technology. To use Microsoft to write this, type it, print it out, stamp it, sign it, and post it. We don't do it. That's the country.
When you ask them whether they even get a computer in their office, that they trouble too.
Alfonso, they get it. They get computer. This is from the official statement. Let me read it so we can have our say on that. I think you have it with you there. But to our followers, this is from the Ministry of Education, Nima County School System, official statement from the Office of the Nima County Education Officer. This is the CEO, Honorable Francis G. Legging. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I think
Leggy.
Good. On behalf of the Nima County School System, the Nima County Education Officer, Honorable Francis G. Leggett, do sincerely appreciate the following stakeholders for their involvement in enhancing the successful completion of the West African examination, senior secondary certificate examination, which is WAS. Honorable Leggett is extending gratitude to the government of Liberia that committed itself to paying the fees of the 12 graders, the Ministry of Education, MOE, that provided regulations and guided the processes in WAS Liberia that ensures the smooth and timely conduct of the exercises, including every other person or institution that helped one way or the other. At the same time, so that I was saying when a statement is not printed, you jump from one state to another. At the same time, the Nima County Education Officer is encouraging all school administration, including public, private, and faith-based, to fully follow guidelines, procedures, and regulation laid down by the Ministry of Education for graduation. The procedure, according to CEO Leggett, state, this is where now we're going to have the discussion, that a student should pass at least 5 subjects before graduation. 2, that all schools wait for results before graduation. 3, that KG graduation fee for private or faith-based schools is 5,000 LD. 4, that KG graduation fee for public school is 2,500 LD. That 12 grade graduation fee for private or faith-based schools is 100 USD, and for public school is 5,000 LD. And there should be absolutely no extra fee attached. The Nima County School System is also urging all schools not to conduct graduation for 3rd grade, 6th grade, and 9th graders. In addition to that, the Nima County School System has placed a strict ban on collection of gown fees, adding that all public school students should have their graduation in their school uniform. Honorable Francis Legge has further revealed that there should be absolutely no closing of school before the 17th of July 2025, and that doing so is directly against the Ministry of Education curriculum and policy. He stressed that his office is his office in close collaboration and consultation with the Ministry of Education will not hesitate to punish any violators of the above mandates. CEO Legan mentioned a huge financial fine among other administrative action that will be taken. In closing, the CEO, in consultation with the Nima County School System, has concluded the reapplication process of all school administrators across the county. He said the aim of the exercise is to have appropriate people serving as school administrators in public schools across Nima County, which Honorable Legge said it will help to promote the discharge of quality education within the system. Now, we cannot read everything here, but the major parts there, which involve the payments of fees, both private and public schools. Secondly, the issue of graduating in uniform and not gowns. And thirdly, closing on the 17th of July and not before the 17th. Now, Efanso, you will lead last on this, but I want to hit the Ministry of Education very hard. First of all, you gave a mandate. I know all of the other schools in Liberia, faith-based, private school, public school, they all fall under the Ministry of Education. But for the public school, they have support from the government. So the government have full control over them when it comes to regulation. For private school, the Ministry of Education do not have that full control because of they do not support them. Now, where it gets contradicting, it is not only the Ministry of Education, but almost every sector in Liberia. Why do we keep charging in US dollars? I mean, businesses could do that. We will come here to discuss them. But if a reputable government institution is also involved, then I question myself, where is the system? Which currency do we value the most? The biggest question that I asked myself after I read this press statement earlier on today, how do we implement these things? It's very beautiful. And I think, Efanso, you will help me to answer that question. Writing them is one thing, but the implementation process. You see, you already said no collection of gown fees, but I know the school system in Liberia. They will not just stop the collection of gown fees. Once you have said no collection of gown fees, the next thing is class project. Your class project is to buy the gown. So what would be the difference from class project or buying gown to collection of gown fees? I mean, they said there is no extra fees collected, but how do you intend to implement this? Is it the district education officers that do not have motorbikes to move around? You expect to be going here and there? How does this work? Why will you charge public school in Liberian dollars and charge faith-based and private school in US dollars? What's the intent? Are they different? Do the Ministry of Education not have full control over faith-based and private schools? If they do not have those control, let the people to do their thing they want to do and do not impose on them. But if you have control, then do us due diligence, offer everybody the same service that you are offering. But again, I know Efanso will come here to say it is a system. The ministry is working like this. But to you guys that are following, One thing that you should know about Alfonso, maybe you don't know, is that Alfonso is a teacher, a government teacher. Alfonso taught me. And he will defend the Ministry of Education here, especially in Nima County school system. He will defend them to the fullest here tonight. But I'm telling you the reality. You should listen to what I will say.
Don't listen to Alfonso.
Yeah, don't listen. Do not listen to Alfonso. Listen to what I will say. Listen to my point. Leave the point of Alfonso. He will protect the system they have. But I'm telling you the ills within the system. I mean, for God's sake, why would you charge another group in Liberian dollars? Their money even small. You go to charge another group in US dollars. You said a public school should graduate in uniform. Private school, you don't put any restriction on that. What is going on here? Are you picking and choosing between the two type of institution? Alfonso will come here to tell you that for private school, you know, the government do not have full control over them. But again, I want you to ask yourself, if the government do not have full control over them, why would they tell them to pay certain amount? Why don't leave the people to do their own thing? I will have my second round thought on this. I don't want to bring out all of my tactic. Alfonso will come to complete everything. So let me hear you, Alfonso.
You know, I just laughing because it's so interesting when you inciting the public against my opinion on the educational matter. They should listen to me. They should listen to you and maybe to laugh. You know, Joe.
When you take my side, they will take 2 hours. But if you are not taking my side, you're going to defend your people. Then clearly we know Alfonso was a teacher. He's a teacher. Clearly he will defend the people. So I mean, I'm the one that is neutral here. I'm the one saying the truth. But again, let's hear you, Alfonso. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Joe, you know, everybody will have their profession, and if you are proficient in your profession, then of course you can discuss the issues, you know, in that profession. I, for one person, had not been a supporter of the Ministry of Education quote-unquote policy in Liberia.
Okay, that's great. Now you listen to Alfonso on this one. Listen to him keenly.
So I not actually been, you know, a full supporter of many of their policy. When I was there in Senegal, you know, I was in the private and the public schools. But there are few things that caught my attention that you just stretch out between the public school and the private school. Which one of the institution they both fall on, whether Ministry of Education or they are separate. The public school, fully we all know that they are operated or they are functioning under the Ministry of Education. But yet now the very Ministry of Education, when they separated them, called them, you know, the school system, and the school system that they name them, there are few of those school systems that are directly monitored and operated by Ministry of Education, and some are not directly monitored and operated by Ministry of Education. For one fact, we were discussing today, I just mentioned to you the Morovia Consolidated School System, MCSS. They got their own budget. When Nima County School System budget is under Ministry of Education budget, MCSS has their own budget. They got their own school superintendent. But Nima County School System does not have school superintendent. They got county education officer. But they see MCSS in Mosorado County, the entire school there. There are certain group of school in Mosorado County that are under that MCSS, and they also have the county education officer for Mosorado County. up how they call it, monitoring other school, not the MCSS. You see, that is a complete contradiction to our education. I want in there. So that contradiction, they are always in there when it comes to making policy in the society, in the educational setting. Now public school pay LD, private school pay USD. Is that not contradiction? Who gave the go ahead to the private school to operate? Who gave them the permit? Is it not you, the Ministry of Education? Is it not you that can tell them don't operate when they are against certitude? Is that not you that can relegate? I mean, how do you call it? Go about monitoring their activities. So are you telling me the students are attending the private school are from different country? They are from United States of America, for instance, and the one in the government school are from Liberia. So the one that are from Liberia should use a Liberian dollar. My brother, where the whole thing here is the entire government will get problem. When we see our government official, some of them are taking their salary in United States dollar, while other people are taking salary in Liberian dollar. That's the same thing they bring in our education system. That's a messed up thing we see in there. It's very messed up. We need to be speaking on these issues. And not because Gion say, oh, don't listen to the pastor, the thing I say is true. So many I'm going on Gion way. No. But I've been one of the critics too. But my criticizing people was not just on media here and there. But we'll do it with policy. Sometimes we'll go for seminar, symposium, and all of workshop. We express it to who be the leaders or the facilitator. Sometimes they will take our point down and carry it, thinking that when they reach there, things will be changed. Or maybe they will take those things into consideration. But when they go there, sometimes they can be on the highway, the people lost. The document they take from us, sometimes they can help you on the highway, the people lost. When MOE teacher was doing some biometry in Senegal, we noted by the time they read Ganta, they say the computer, they did the biometry in the computer criminal story. So the entire biometry just had us scatter. No hey, no tay. So that's how the people can take document from us and carry it. They can't read the ministry. So we say here that the minister, when she took office, she went from school to schools to make some, to see how people are coping with education system. Why will you look at private school pay US, then public school pay LD? Just you want for everybody to pay US, just say everybody in the school system pay US. You want for everybody to pay LD, just say everybody pay LD. Now they leave with the private school to tell you, say, we are not accepting LD, we are accepting US. Then you sit there as a minister and say, I accept it. Then we will know which type of minister you are.
I mean,
it's frustrating.
I'm confused here.
It's also against our parents that are sending their children to the private school. They should go look for US to pay. Then
definitely, that's where I was coming.
It's not healthy.
That's where I was coming. Definitely,
it's not healthy.
If you saying you are protecting the parents from public school because they do not have the money, so you might claim, and you expect them to pay in liberty, but you go to the private school and you tell them to pay in US dollars. Now you get the whole thing messed up here. This is the same belief that parents have always in Liberia. They say they castigate our government school system. They don't want to send their children there because some of them believe that our government school system is not good. They do not teach there really. This is the example we're seeing.
And the perception is lie. The perception is not a good perception. Because the very government school, for me, I take Senegal because it just the sample school system in Nima. Senegal, for instance, all the teachers, government teachers in Senegal Central High, they teach how they call it, some of them teach at Baptist. All the private school they teach them.
All the private
school. You teach all of them. The same curriculum, the same thing going all around.
Yeah. Then
so so people who had those insinuation, those perception, they are not true. It's just that the difference between the two schools is the government school can be overcrowded and the private school cannot be overcrowded. So sometimes when the school is overcrowded, for the children to really be attentive, it can, get, it can be very difficult. You
Yeah, I
see,
mean,
these are some, that's it. Yeah.
why we dispel that belief of people that government school system does not teach? The ministry itself too is trying to maybe make us to believe those kind of things that people are believing behind it. They saying that government school does not teach. Why will you go to impose something and then you took another school system? I mean, this is like you separating and taking one school system to be special. In this case, I would believe that they're taking the private school system to be special, because the first thing is that you've already put restriction on the government school system not to graduate, I mean, not to collect fees for gowns, and you telling them to graduate in our uniforms. But this restriction does not extend to the private school. They can graduate in a gown. They can wear whatever gown they want to wear. They can dress whatever way they want to dress, which is not in our curriculum. The girls can wear the wig. The boys can plait the hair. There is no emphasis about that for private school. But public school, you've already made a restriction. Are you exempting certain group of people, the private school from the laws? Are you exempting them? Are they special? Why do we keep going in the same direction and we want change, but we keep repeating the same thing? Now, jealousy will come in here. I want to speak the minds of students. Jealousy will definitely come in here. I've gone to school for 12 years. I wore the same uniform 12 years. Graduation time, I want to change something, and you come up with a policy, and you restricted me to go by that policy, and you leave the other people not to go by it, and you let them to do anything. For God's sake. For God's sake.
Sometimes when the graduation time is coming, the PTA, the school administrator, so now somebody can write communication to the CEO office, say our children say they want to graduate in gown. But let's say this. The policy, I mean, the statement that nobody should graduate in gown, I mean, public school students shouldn't graduate in gown. If that is a policy, it should be a holistic policy.
Yeah, apply to everyone.
Because what I'm thinking is there are some public schools that already had their gown.
Definitely.
For that student been graduating in sense. So if you say they shouldn't graduate in gown and they already get gown and they want to put their student out, so what are they doing with the gown? Are they just keeping it as decoration? The thing the dodging here, I know, is the student to graduate again, the payment of gown fees and other things, graduation fee, gown fee, all the kind of small bureaucracy, it can cause a student, too many, cost. They then go, through the kind of intensive spending. But yes, we agree on that they can go through. If you made a policy, anytime you're making policy, the policy should get plan B. That's why when you wrote the constitution, the constitution article 1 talk about nobody should kill or nobody should kill and nobody should eat. And they sit down killing, then they will also put their A. When you kill, you will kill this so way because of this. B, don't just kill because you want to kill. C. So if you make the policy and you say nobody should graduate in gown, and if the school already have their gown, are you saying the students shouldn't use it now? That one. The second thing is, what if all of the students, not the administrator, but the student go and tell the administrator, we want to graduate gown, we ourselves sew our gown, we'll buy our gown, we'll wear it. Are you saying the administrators will say no when the student already getting money? There should be condition attached to this. If you are tell the school, if you want to use gown, the gown fees should be incorporated in the graduation fee not more than $500. Then we say, yeah, the ministry have brought policy that if you want to graduate in gown, maybe the school provide it, but you pay the 500 for rentage fee, or 250 to add it to the graduation fee. Something like that, you are already made policy. You can't stop somebody. You can't stop somebody in how they call it merrymaking. And the person say, "I want to wear the eternity." No, it also gives freedom of expression, freedom of movement. Everything against it.
I want to hold you there to ask this question. You spend a lot of time with the San Nicolas Central High School. What is the purpose of this graduation fees? Where is it allocated? Is it to the Ministry of Education or it is kept in the school covenant?
John, what would be so gonna Pandora box here? Where maybe somebody not text you say as a fun, so there you want me open.
Nobody text me.
Want me open Pandora box that when I can't like bro, some people be having a raw gun already in their hand.
Nobody text me.
But let me say there, it's good to sometimes say the truth. I'm not afraid when I say truth. Every graduation fees is applicable to students in every institution as a tradition in the education. Notwithstanding, the graduation fee should be used for the school purpose. Unless for our school system in Liberia, graduation fee is only controlled by the principal.
No, I'm asking a specific question. Wait. This graduation fees, after it is being collected, is it transferred to the Ministry of Education account or the school account? Now, I like the place you're going.
That's the process I'm bringing now. I'm coming to now.
Okay, great.
Like I said, when it's collected, it's go to the principal account. The Ministry of Education has nothing to do with graduation fees. It's Ministry of Education feel that graduation fee is for the school, for the school administration, and the school administration will sit and decide what to do with the graduation fee, either to undertake project or to buy some stationery for the school and pay some other people who been helping the system to take care of the school. But
something is wrong somewhere. I'm getting your explanation very, very contradicting. There is something you have for me and our followers.
What is this?
You're not coming straight with this answer. Now,
no, I will not have to answer directly the way you post it, because if I answer it, you already saw you had the answer that the money go directly in the account of the principal instead of the school account. In fact, meaning it cannot go to the ministry.
This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. If that is the case, it's wrong. I'm a little constrained to say this. Anytime next month, I will touch down Liberia. It's on a private mission.
Don't tell people.
I'm not telling nobody when I come in.
But you already anytime next month, they'll just be waiting to RRA with a raw gun.
Emmanuel, I say, you see their face? They're not my real face. Their face are not my real face. We will be doing fact checking in every institution. We want to know this money that are collected for graduation. What are the purpose of it being collected? We know that the Ministry of Education, private school sector, public school sectors are solely sponsored by the government. The teachers being paid, the stationaries being bought, Every other thing that is done in public school, it is through the government of Liberia. Now, if graduation fees are collected, it should be for a specific purpose. Now, these same students that are collecting the graduation fees, which these graduation fees have been collected for decades, some institutions do not even have graduation gown. In the Ministry of Education, the Nima County school system coming up to say people should graduate, students should graduate in uniform. What have you been doing? We've been asking this question, especially to the Nima County Education of the Nima County administration. We said, what have they been doing with our county social development funds? Now, this is going to be a very serious problem. What have you been doing with the graduation fees you've been collecting? I want to say that you want to talk a project. We want to see it visible.
Yeah, I the principal and I come to talk.
I want to know what the fees are collected for. I already know that the Ministry of Education have given a go-ahead, because if the Nima County school system can post this, then I know that the Ministry of Education have given a go-ahead for collection of fees. But what is the purpose of collecting these fees? Are you keeping it in the account to, pay instructors or the tertiary staff, like the cleaners that have been helping to clean the compound? If that is so, how much have you collected over the years? How many students were enrolled? How many you graduated? And how many paid? Over the years, have you raised 3 million? When we're talking about 5,000. San Nicolas Central alone, I can predict that over 300 students will graduate, both morning and evening session. Calculate 5,000 times 300. Very huge money. Where is this money going? Did you pay instructors? Did you want to take a project? If you want to take a project, which project was it? Or you giving this money to school principals?
Now, I want you to be talking plenty anything.
Come on.
I want you to wait. Because the little time we spend in the education system there, if it was something we're taking away, we could have exposed people. And by the time, maybe some of them are sent all in the same bush.
I must have beg you.
On a serious note, you see John Wesley Pearson, for instance, they receive, sometimes you see you will notice the principal, or most often the principal for any principal that go in John Wesley Pearson, you don't stand strong, you die. Or you turn blind, they carry say bush. Multiple times during early time, also during early 12 years, almost they have 4 principals. 2 when they say bush, 2 die. Then Jowiatan, they got another principal there. I think now they get another principal there now. The reason is common. The Ministry of Education have created that narrative, that corruptive narrative, where people go into the system to enrich themselves. So for that reason, nobody will want to get a BSc and go serve a principal for a school, and then other people too got master around him. And they're looking at that BSc man, taking almost all of the finances home, building a home, building a family. Then the other people who got master are teaching. Some of them are administrator too. Some of them are classroom teacher. They are not receiving cent of this money. The next thing that happens, people go about going against each other. Sometimes some of them will not do it with African sound, as we can put it. Some of them will do it with it. Some of them will start to castigate each other. Some of them will spoil the reputation of that school, passing through students, other people, because they are not receiving what they're supposed to receive, or they feel they're supposed to receive something, they are not receiving it. But that shouldn't be the case. The issue, the real thing that the ministry should have done was there should be a fake account attached to every school. And every school should get their financial officers. Before that, any student that want to pay any cent should pay through the bank, and that the receipt, the registrar only gave receipt to you. And you want any money from there, they see where how when there's budget pass, the Ministry of Education want any money, they go pass through people, how they call it, the final ministry and paying some information because they don't want to be caught in the corruption web. That's the same thing should be done in the high school. Unfortunate for us, it's not happening. It's not happening that way. That's why I told you when the money is collected, it's been sent into the principal account, not even the school account. But the principal will go open the school account. Just imagine, principal go open school account, only him. Where in the world you open institutional account, only you the signatory to it.
These are shocking
Where in the
information.
world? So I'm telling you that most majority of our principal in Nimba government school. That's what they do. They open the account, they are entitled to it, they go there to withdraw anything they want to withdraw. You get that? Smarty, they play their game that way. And now you look at most of the principal in most of the high school, they are people that got money, even though their salary cannot commensurate with what they owe now, the property they got now. They cannot commensurate with that. But yes, they in Liberia, they are millionaires. They get more, millions of Liberian dollars. Where they got it from? They choose from how they call it, graduation fees, registration fees. Could you imagine? One of the shocking things to me that I got, I don't want to call the principal name, but the principal right there in Liberia, in Lima County, the Ministry of Education, when you collect a registration fee, they send it to the ministry account. Then the ministry sends 60% of that money back to the school. It's supposed to be in the school account, but what they can do, the principal will send his mobile money account number and take it to be for the school, and then that money will be transmitted in that principal account, and the principal will be boasting, I just received I go 900,000. I know where the ministry can go send 900,000 for. When you ask why for, they say that the registration fee, I spent over 2 million, then they can go send now like 60% or 2 million there. So where the money they use it.
I guess
but the one you just said about ministry supporting school, I will differ with you.
Okay.
The reason I differ with you is that before the school, the calendar commence, the very first thing we're supposed to see from the ministry is stationery, other teaching material. On the contrary, the teaching material can come at the end of the year.
No, listen.
Sometimes you will not find it at all. So our Eastern Equity Central for over 5 years, the ministry did not send anything to the school. Could you imagine that too?
Efanso, you defaulting with me here
on ministry support to the school. Yes. That's why I
defaulting with me on a basis. It is something that is a law. It is the obligation of the ministry. So whether or not the school didn't receive it, it is the fault of the school, because if you have made several efforts in getting these stationaries to your school and you didn't get it, you don't blame us, you blame the ministry, or you come up with a statement and let us to know. We elected the government. It is the government responsibility to do these things. When they are not doing it, then we engage our lawmakers. Our lawmakers engage the regulatory authorities. Then the regulatory authority goes to answer questions. But we don't know that. What we know is that the Ministry of Education is the one that always pay those stationaries, and you guys receive it.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the call lawmaker made me to laugh when Adolphus Dolo, the then senator of Lima County, went to Area C in Yekepa, the Area C school building, when Asala Meta was using the school. He made all out of noise on media like you're going there to vacate people from the place. They say, yeah, the senator is going. After he reached, They look at the people, they put call in the office, co-air condition 13 and came out with that kind of brown envelope. They said our letter in it. He went. Then they think that they will relocate. I mean, they will relocate later. Now, what I'm trying to say, people that lawmakers, they don't even involve them into our education issue because they don't really plan anything about education. So don't you?
Also, the school system, what we know of is that they receive the stationaries. Whether or not they are not been receiving it, we don't know. I'm hearing it from you today. I believe they have been receiving it. But what we will start to do from here on, from tonight's show, is our fact finding. We want to get all of the details, information.
We have to try to bring the CEO here.
When you and I from, I know the CEO is a new guy. He also served as principal for Sunny Gray Central now for a long time.
My senior brother, I communicated with him the other day on the talk show issue. He did not reply though, but I will call him. We have to try to convince him to bring him here.
This money, how this money have been collected, how has it been used? If there is no good account of this, LACC is ready, GAC is ready. We can't be sending GAC to any politician. Yeah, man. We can't only send GAC to any politician. We can't send LAC to any politician. We got to send them to the institution that are building the future. The Ministry of Education got a very fine motto. I don't know, flash the light and it will find a way.
Let me ask you a question now. You been on San Diego Central campus?
Yeah, several times.
You saw the auditorium project there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think 50,000 United States dollar, or let's just say less, 25,000 United States dollar, could put that building in shape?
What was the estimated budget of that building?
I'm asking you first. I just want to bring you to certain things. That's why I'm asking you. 25,000 United States, do you think it can bring that building in shape? The building was already built, only to be zinc. They already have the plan all over it, but only to be zinc. Now, do you think 25,000 could zinc that building, plaster inside, outside, put floor, everything? You think so? United States dollar.
Evanzo, 25,000 could build the building from scratch, roof, put every necessary, equipment inside that building.
Now stop there. Stop there. The point I'm preaching here is this. During George Weah time, there were 50,000 given to few schools in Nima. San Diego Central benefited.
50-50 each.
50,000 each to few schools in Nima. San Diego Central benefited. Now, that building, the school managed to bring that building up to roof level, everything, only to zinc. The schools, in fact, had the zinc to floor to my area because we got one generator in the place that was given by one other organization there that left the place. So the generator floor wanted that generator, and they gave the generator to floor, and floor gave, I think, something like 16 bundles in to the school. So now, when the ministry came with the 50,000, San Diego Central benefited at 50,000. So they asked San Diego Central, what do you think you can do with the money? They said they were going to complete that auditorium with the money and fit in a classroom, and also build a modern toilet. San Diego Central already got a toilet. The only thing they did is to just put camo in it. They bought camo, they did all the plumbing work, everything in the place. Then they also have the classroom already. What they did was to buy sling and change those ones that were not correct, the sling tie, those ones that were not correct. Then to buy zinc and also complete that auditorium building. Could you imagine the auditorium was not completed until the 50,000 finished? 50,000 United States dollar finished, the auditorium was not completed.
So I
As
think
we speak,
Afonso, you got
as we speak now, as we speak now, the bathroom, the other thing that's all of it, even the sling, all of thing now in a it did not complete. They didn't even complete. They didn't even paint. Nothing.
I
So
think
to tell you how corrupt people are in system. So when
you got
when the minister took office, that where she went first, Seneca, she said, "Oh, 50,000 was spent on the school. How come the school is that day?" These are the key reason that led Moses to to leave the school. I mean the school system. That's why these are some of the things. But they did not do the audit to know whether the money was used appropriately or it wasn't used appropriately. You got that?
so I
These are
think
some of the things.
you need to agree with me on this that it is time that we start to call GAC attention to the school system in our country, not only Nima but across. There are schools everywhere. This graduation fees should be the first. Secondly, they have the 50,000. I don't know why the government give money for a purpose and not make follow-up. This is
They
where
may follow up. They may follow up. They send somebody. They send one of their financial experts to come and monitor that project. But you know what? The financial expert was very corrupt more than the government itself, more than the administration. Because this is a man that when you want to sign something, you tell the principal the way we come into the other one here, I think you have to give me something like one G file. So the principal give him one G file. He said to say, okay, one G file. The CEO, DO too, that also on the other side where they will carry. They have to carry something.
Anyways,
That's right. Look at that, bro.
I think this is our week-long conversation. Tomorrow,
We have to be the CEO here. The CEO will bring up to speed about those projects, the funding that was giving, what's wrong, what not wrong, the document you receive, the turnover note. The CEO will tell everything.
I have been one of those against the disabled community project, the disabled building that is built in Sanikole for 42,000.
Bucky.
Bucky built that place for 42,000 and he didn't complete it. And here 50,000 was spent on an auditorium project, which the auditorium was already built and roof, only left with zinc, and to tie the place, then you use almost 50,000 without doing the work that's supposed to be done.
The work was not completed. They even owe the federal that was doing the work. Or later on, they start breaking. They did not even give the contract to appropriate institution, registered institution. When they brought people from behind the hall that they have control over, say, my man can't do the other way here, can't do the one like what they did. But the people they brought, they were not people that had the lesson for construction, nothing.
The system will change. Tomorrow when we're having a show, I will make sure that we will tag LACC here. We'll tag them. Even if they don't watch the show, I know somebody will watch the show. We'll also tag GAC here and change start with one person. Let Saniguri Central Hub be the first from Nima. That 50,000 they should give account how it was spent. Secondly, the graduation fees that are being collected. What are those projects? Because we know Saniguri Central High School. Look at the sports stadium there. One graduation fees alone could rehabilitate the sports stadium. Just one academic year. But I don't know what are the 8-10.
If our friends were in high school, then high school are modern school, man.
It's really
Well, I'm talking to my man texting me that say that he talking there, you better stop.
You better stop. We will come for you. But anyways, it has been a wonderful show tonight. We thank all of you who've been watching the show, sharing it, and also commenting. We appreciate all of you. We have exhausted our time. We're going to be here again tomorrow. Like we took a few time being on our mental issue, and the pressure is mounting on them now. So we relax. We stay back and look forward to our lawmakers. Now, as we pick up the issue of the Ministry of Education today, there is thing we call leech. We are like leash now.
We're
We're sticking on them. If you mean that money, graduation fees will not be paid because there is no account for the previous one that have been collected. This come around, you're telling the children not to wear a gown, to use their same old uniform they've been wearing for the past 10 months. Then you're telling them to pay graduation fees. What are they paying it for? Are they the ones that are paying for the chalks that they use? Imagine, like, bro, we still using chalk. Bullshit. Anyways,
so we volunteer in the school. The people not used to pay up. They used to collect all the money. I used to pay up. You see? So they say when I sit down, one other student, you look at, how they call it. One time I was sitting down, one student had envelope in their hand. They put the envelope in my hand. The vice principal was sitting down far up, looking at me. So when the student put the envelope, I asked, I said, "Is that your excuse letter?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." I did not open the envelope. I went and placed it in my bag. I went home. To open the envelope, I saw $3,000 Liberian dollar in the envelope. I said,
did you return the money?
Just give me chance now. I know you must say a corrupt. Just give me chance. I saw I saw 3,000. I saw when now give me chance. My brother, I brought my own story, right? Now
Okay,
you're not getting the facts, so you got to listen. So I opened it. I said, "What? 3,000? Okay, no problem." So the envelope, I did not use the money. I just left it. It was open, but I put it place in my bag. I came back on campus. The student did not come to school that day, so I didn't talk. When the student came, the person who is the waiter is the registrar of the school. They call one how they call erasure. You always tell me, say, why when you ready to do something, you can always call me and say, "But you registrar, you wanted the administrator, so when I want to do something, I want you to know." The people there, the other people that are there, my second pool, I can't go to them. So I call erasure. I say, "Erasure." One student of the grade 10 class gave me envelope yesterday, and I did not open it. I just felt it was a letter, but when I went home, I opened it. I saw 3,000. But the student did not tell me anything about it, whether they wanted me to help them with grades or what, I don't know. So when he told me, he said, "Okay, you know what you do? Give me the money. Let me keep the money. Let's see if the student will come to you to tell you something about grade." 2 weeks, the student did not come to school. The following week, the student came. I said, "Why you were not in school?" The student said, "Oh, I wasn't well, that's why." I said, "Okay. But I gave some quizzes here, you didn't take it. So what I will do for you is tell me when you prepare to take your quiz so I can give your quiz." So the student said, "Hey, you want next week? I mean on the weekend I will take the quiz." I said, "Okay, no problem." So on the weekend I get a student quiz, everything. Erasure are going to discuss the issue with the VP, and the VP want that money. I already administered my test, and the student myself almost left on campus last. So when I took my paper, the student was going home. The VP called me. He said, "Why you the student stay?" Luckily for me, it was a boy, and now female that was male, because in our female part they're going to insinuate differently. So he said, "Why you the boy just stay long?" I said, I will give him a makeup." He said, "Oh, so that the makeup fee now is 3,000 plus." I said, 3,000 for makeup fee? Is that why in your handbook? He said, "So that makeup fee gave it 3,000?" They said the student gave it 3,000 for makeup. I said, "Okay." The student not go fire the student there. I don't want to file the student or say, "Please come." I want your USL to file the student and say, "Please," and say, at this, how they call it, I did respected him. Why I should say I will not follow the student to call the student. He should go. So it was did respect. So he will have to write communication to DO that he want make me afraid, so I can't stop playing. He want eat the money. So he was saying now showing me son. My corruption not grow. So when you show me son, I call the ball. I just call the ball, say can. You gave me envelope the other day. I just fed our letter inside, but I money put inside. Why you put it there for? He say, "Oh, right, so the way you in the school, people I hear they say you volunteering, it's nothing you get this and that, we're more you get carried in home." So I just talk to the class. That one told me, he said, just talk to the class, for the class to collect small thing they put together for me as a surprise. So they didn't tell me. So that how he gave it to me. Oh, the VPR say, I can't receive that now. The man sees the money, man. He said the money, you had to go report it to the DO office. After one more DO came up, I told a DO, I say, your student gave me money here, 130 G. They took it from me. They say our corruption money they brought to your office. Why you saw that money, DO? You never gave me $50. I said, about a quarter. He said, who? I said, the VPR. Then he asked the VPR, when you brought money to me, the whole thing started. VPR, I don't know where to start from, where to end it, my brother. That's the corruption looking. They make the money in it.
Liberia, you see, we got no system.
They make the money in it. Then he will start telling me, say, it will say, eat your money. Nobody coming to answer.
When I listen to people saying, all we need is to work on the system. How do you work on the system when you don't get it? What I suggest is it's not even built. Just start to build something now. Because the fact that students will even start to have pity for instructor. Because the responsibility of the government is not taking it. Students having pity for instructor. It's like, even the instructor too is a human being. So once you see students doing these kind of things for you, you get emotional, you want to reciprocate.
Yeah.
The man pay now, you want to get a man something that he's supposed to gain.
That's the issue.
We students, we are strategic.
Mommy, I know your plan. In fact, I know all of our plan because we ourselves were students. I know what we used to do.
Tomorrow we will continue this discussion. I will bring some evidences for us to compare the East African education system. Here,
and we give birth to the people when it comes to education. I don't know why people get dangling at you.
There is no grade sheet, Alfonso. They think they talk about teacher going marks on it in grade. No, the system is already set. The pass mark here is 50 for bachelors. For masters, it's 60. If you score below that 50, it will appear in something they call MRS. That your MRS will appear inside B. Once that thing appeared there, you are subject in like bro call I know when student miss tests or when they fail, the way they can use them back. Help me with that.
What? The way they get given back?
Yeah.
Isn't that makeup?
Makeup. Yeah, retake.
Yeah, retake. Or redo.
Now that retake or redo, the school policy for my school at $30. One course that you're doing redo inside. Now you do courses per every 2 weeks, and you take tests inside before going to do the next course. This is where I see Liberia we're way behind. Students doing 13 subjects, 14 subjects. Here, you do one course. Once you complete that course, before you will finish the exam before you even go to the next course.
The worst part, brother, your own school you love, post-secondary doing 22 courses.
22. I did that. I did 22 courses in my school. Grammar alone was divided into 5 different parts.
One funny Ghana making they say you know all the boys in the world. So the students will do 22 courses. I did for you 2 hours when I was there. I him and said got problem all day. I did for I said, why will you be doing 22 courses? The very first 11 said the children I know it. They say 22.
and here you got the grades are divided. We also have similar system in Liberia, but it's not really effective. 30% for classroom activities here, 40% for Cat 1, which is the quizzes in Liberia require quizzes. Then the test is 40%. So that's amount of 100%. Now, if in your 30% in classroom, you can afford to score 25, my brother, the rest of show say that retake you going to take. Because classroom activity where you're doing assignment, presentation, proposals, they give you 30 points. Then attendance. Here, I go to school 8:30, I leave 2:30. A single day that I miss, 2 weeks, equivalent to 100% of attendance. You miss 2 days, you already finish failing. You're not taking that course. 2 days without a granted reason, and you can't take excuse 2 times in 1 month. No.
I think you know, become change in agent, man. And are you discussing it already?
When we grew up in the system, we saw the system.
When you are not attentive as a classroom instructor and you get in a class of John will make you to be disorganized. So when I used to go in their class, he will want to play that trick. So I would just rest and sit down, just absorbing. When I was absorbing for some time, I said, okay, I know what to do. Because if you put your own problem on the board, John will want you to think that the problem you put on board not correct. So you can twist it. Then later on, you look at it, you don't know anything. When John want to play on me, I look at it. They didn't know did it way back.
I got attacked here with a doctor. Now the guy is a legal expert who knows lighting. I stood up. My level 2 lighting, I finished learning from first year. Now in second year, I want to give it to the guy. A PhD, Kennedy, that finished with a first PhD, doing a second year. I want to, the guy,
you're brave.
It's just up. First of all, the people here, once you enter in the 10th grade, you just focus on one thing. If that computer, you're doing that computer until university level.
They were doing that thing like real. Then none some always scientists.
Then we built.
They made them kill our dream world there to focus on one thing. They just focus on different things. At the end of the day, some teacher will tell us the mathematics will go look for state and can't count. What they will just do counting, brother.
Alfonso, I wanted to ask you personally, because I think you taught me 2 different subjects, mathematics and literature. I think, yeah. In mathematics, I think it was something around literature. Now, I wanted to ask, why did you teach me that? Why did you waste my time?
On literature?
Should I quite waste time? But mathematics, I don't even look at mathematics here anymore. That thing, zero. Zero.
The thing is, they made mathematics and English compulsory. Marvel, they make your IQ to function well.
Yeah, fine, yeah. Good.
And but, literature will allow you to dissect and to be able to read well and understand well, to get into people's problem. Because literature always deal about what happened about people's problem and to just get into it and start calculating how to handle. That's what the thing I call. But nothing you just go and go sit down in your office and start applying. As soon as your major now, all the things going away. But you will apply them one day. Don't worry.
All of these things we're saying to a bow down to system.
Yeah.
The people who have built their system, they're working with it. For us, every year, another Vision 2026, Vision 2027. We never accomplish a vision, but we keep extending them.
No, our Vision 2030 not visual. It's Vision 2030. So we're building that vision.
Who is working with it? Now, the people here when I came,
the government.
Vision 2030 that they have here is stable electricity, complete network, stable network system that doesn't trip, full construction of roads. For roads in power, I give them credits. You never go to any part of the country where you see mud. No. Everywhere is layout. Electricity, even though it goes once in a while, network, once in a while.
That's small country, man.
You see that small country? Now you see what happening? I wonder for
a small country, I never can tell you.
You see, I want to discuss this tomorrow, but I want to just bring it to your mind a little. When you check all the countries that are banned from going to America and the potential ban list, when you check them, you will never see the country.
But that country is allied to the US. US been supporting the military, everything. Oh, you don't know that?
Liberia. Listen, that one I want to discuss this tomorrow. You see, Liberia, that came from America. Let's say our national anthem is no different from the American national anthem. Our cities are named after America. Look at Monrovia. They got in Bonneville. They get lower Bonneville. They get area that they call West Virginia.
And they get New Georgia in it.
And New Georgia.
Yeah.
We have almost, we were ruled by the Americans for years. Then, and we also got a history. We are on the public platform, but I read about this, that Liberia declared war on Germany.
But you say on public platform, you wouldn't know that one. You don't know declare war on Germany, but if we allowing the America to station in that place, that's why they build the RRA, they build Omega Tower, they are using the tower to spy and do all of functioning all around there. You don't know that
with
one?
all of these things that you did, you still even use us today. You never going on to support the military. We're still fighting for Ammo Chalk. We're still fighting for Moa.
We should be just Israel now. America should be catering to all that. They're really catering to Israel because we are their children.
When I saw that ban list, I was shocked. I was like, what? Liberia? And the president released a statement today. He put some committees in place to see how best they can work on that before Liberia get banned. So I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's serious. It's serious.
Yeah, the little country I'm in, you never see it on that thing.
Because right the people there, they are patriotic to their country is developed. Yeah, you must say, why you have to leave that your country? I mean, why you have to leave Liberia be suffering to go in other people's country? Because our country not developed. The people there, they are corrupt. Even if people send the money to our country, they take the money and send it back in the European country with their family in there. So your country just remain down. That's the reason. And when you go travel with one government official, you stay there, you don't want to come back. For what reason?
Yeah.
That's why the people putting you on our list.
George, we are regime.
They used to travel with 45, 50, 60 people. Somebody can return.
I met few government officials in Dubai. Unfortunately, we met at Qatar airport. Those guys, I know their names. I took some of them pictures, but I don't get a phone with me anymore. The latest Chanel, Gucci, Versace stores that Edo Garden were in with those girls.
All the men were taking the state resources, my brother. When we talking, people get angry, but it was true. Why a president will be leaving the country with over 60 men, 60 people to go do what Mary making? Just going here, bro. You carry 1.some million dollars just to go spoil and come back.
And the unfortunate thing that happened that time, we were students going back home. Yeah, that 2023 we were going back home for vacation. So we all took the same Qatar Airway, but the RA business class. So when we reached in Ghana, our flight got canceled, so they had to reschedule us. And based on, scarce space, some of those guys, they routed us in the economy class. And bulk of us that were going back, we all were Liberians. The entire aircraft of 4 were Liberians. NTA not say. NTA.
The in-flying bird making noise. When the bird will say, I want people in the sea, like that.
The noise we made the government official there. The former forestry FDA director, one, I don't say Mark Dwyer, he ran with us that time. That papi joined us. The way we deal with CDC men in that place. The Ghanaian men were confused. Very confused. But what we're trying to say here in short is that our system need to be built. We are old, very, very old, for us to still be discussing these simple things. The fact that instructors still uses chalk in Liberia to write in high school, it shows how limited we are. The fact that most of our high school campuses doesn't have access to Wi-Fi shows how limited we are in this modern and digital world.
We're talking about Wi-Fi, but we're talking about the B1 or.
The fact that we don't even get a good toilet on the campuses.
See, the fact that most of our instructors cannot be afford a smartphone. Because you bring Wi-Fi on campus, the instructor don't even got smartphone to do research and teach the children. And then why is Wi-Fi there for now?
Maybe we should turn. Anyways, let me leave that. But again, Fanso has been a good show tonight. Let's hear you as we try to close up your final statement.
Yeah, it's a fun day, like this. I'm encouraged by everyday improvement in, facing the media like this. When I started media, I was like, wow,
Yeah.
I'm talking to multiple people around. So I will just mention some words, but at least as we go about doing this, we'll be fluent in it and everything will go well. I want to appreciate those who listen to us, who had their views, their point. I want to also thank the pastor from Minnesota who always watch our show, even though I disagree with some of the points on Israel being the actual Israel. I differ with him that we will go into the historical content and see, and the biblical content to see whether that is true. But for me, I differ strongly. We also want to tell our judiciary to adjudicate the case involving Faranti Kufaden well, because the country want to know if Faranti and police are actually the doer of the act or not. We should lie on their name when we know that it's lie. And if it is true, it should be something proven beyond all reasonable doubt. And our education system, we want to appreciate the Ministry of Education for involving the state security in implementing their orders. We also want to tell her to also be looking at, standardizing the educational system, making every financial, transaction, in a standard form, not to be in a purported form where people will have the maneuver to pocket some finances, and there will be no other system to hold them responsible or accountable for those funds. I think they need to work on that. And we will encourage our county education officer to one day join our show to also have a lengthy discussion, even to the health. People will also be discussing health and agriculture while we deal with accidental sumo waiting, because we know they will soon come back. So we're waiting for them. So yes, it was a good show. I want to appreciate you too, Jill, for your stand. At least the both of all agree on most of the issues tonight. But just few things we disagree on. But at least it was okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pastor. But before you go, I would like to say this to our candidates in Buyao. This is your platform. When we write you and you give us consent of appearing on the show, we hope on you. We plan that day around you. Please try to fulfill your promise. You are vying for a public office that involves talking. The three cardinal responsibility of a lawmaker is basically talking. The first one are talking, second one are talking, third one are talking. So if you can shy away from media and you got your personal reason to do that, but I think it's not really called for to do some of these things. Yesterday, we didn't appear here because we were cut off by someone who we hope on. We cannot say the name here, but it was really bad that we couldn't bring the show on because of those circumstances. Please, if you cannot appear, be bold to us, say no, I can't appear on the show because I'm engaged. But the fact that you would give us the assurance and then in the dying minute you turn us down is wrong. We really don't call for that. So we appreciate all of you. We want you guys to appear here on the show. Show us your intellectual ability. Tell us what you want to do for the people. Because tomorrow when you are not doing these things, it is this same institution that will come to sit on to criticize you. I'm not lie. So we want you to come here, speak it out to the people, and let the people know. That's just what I wanted to say before you leave, Afansa.
Oh yeah, John, it's true. I really appreciate that. But one thing I want you to know is, if we invite them to come or invite anybody to come on the show, it shouldn't be the it shouldn't be the excuse to our listener to say send the person did not come. So the only excuse we can give them is it will have default in our electrical device and other stuff. They will sometimes what they call it, but somebody appearing, that appear, we can get another thing to entertain them, because that's the only way we'll continue to grow the audience. That's the only way they will continue to follow up. But if they will have a breakthrough, someone will be like, that people they can come one time they go, they can't go. So yeah, I think we have to be doing that. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Afanso. As always, I appreciate your time here again. Hope to see you tomorrow.
Have a good night, bro.
Thank you. Again, folks, it has been a wonderful discussion here tonight. You listen to the Heat Hour here on BKS TV. On Heat Hour, we say dialogue in our confrontation. We say words in our bullet. Tonight, we use our words wisely. As always on the show, we always use our words wisely. And I'd like to say thank you to all of you who follow the show here tonight. Melvin Opasua, one of our regular followers from the USA, always following us on the show. We appreciate you. And I can officially confirm that Mr. Melvin Opasua is our follower of the month. We have to do a post for him on the TV station. We got to encourage all of our followers. So if you want to be the follower of the month, do the same as Melvin Opasua. Follow the show, always encourage us. It is because of you that we are here. So when you don't encourage us, we stay back and we don't come. So please always follow the show, help to share with another person, and let someone follow the page too. As you have followed it, share it with somebody to follow it. Please do us due diligence by rating our page. As you rate the page and it goes up to 100%, now you move us forward to more followers and more audience. Thank you again for your time, your participation in tonight's edition of the Heat Hour. I've been your host, Junior Payne, and I was here co-hosted by Afanso Wumbo, the Booyah Boy. See you tomorrow, same TV channel. Thank you so much.